Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back again. Shawn's Riff Time Machine. In this episode, we're going to round out the big four. We're finally going to talk about Anthrax here. We've covered Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer, so let's talk about Anthrax. Anthrax is East Coast thrash. Most of what we knew in the United States as far as thrash metal came out of California, Los Angeles, and then transplanted up to the Bay Area. And so all of the big thrash bands of the time were there. But there was a movement that happened on the East Coast and was largely due to Dan Lilker and Scott Ian. They formed Anthrax. Dan Lilker was only in for a very short time, first album, I believe. And then he left and formed Nuclear Assault. He was part of Brutal Truth, early grindcore bands. He's kind of like the Dave Mustaine of the East Coast. He's responsible for thrash and the heavy movement in America that happened up there. Of course, Brutal Truth being a grindcore band, and that being a whole different conversation. But Scott, Ian, and Dan played together in the Stormtroopers of Death side project that included Charlie Benante, who's Anthrax's drummer. Once the band kind of got started, Scott, Ian, and Charlie, the drummer, they're basically responsible for all of the music. They write everything, which is cool to see a drummer get in on that. And that doesn't happen all that often. So after their first album, Fistful of Metal, which included Neil Turbin on vocals, they got Joey Belladonna for their second album. And Joey is quite a bit different than the American thrash singers in that he actually had a singing range. He could sing. In the first couple of albums from Slayer and Metallica, there's a lot of shouting going on, very mild hints of melody to go along with that stuff. But Joey did have a range, and he could sing. I personally preferred John Bush when he replaced Joey for a while in the early 90s up through the mid-2000s. And John Bush was from Armored Saint. In the mid-2000s, Joey came back in the picture and has been with him ever since. But their third album, Among the Living, is my favorite. Definitely the best of the Joey Belladonna years. But I really like their early John Bush stuff too. But Among the Living is a fantastic record. I think it's Anthrax's best album. One of the things I really love about these guys is that they don't take themselves too serious. They're kind of nerdy, and that reflects in their music. It's thrash metal, it's aggressive, but it's not all about, I don't know, death and chaos and stuff like that. They would write songs based on Stephen King novels like The Stand. You got two songs in Among the Living that are about Stephen King novels. And then the song I Am the Law, which is the one I'm going to play today, is about Judge Dredd. So they never hesitated from writing about things that they liked and reading comics and talking about it and stuff like that, which I can definitely respect. I think it's cool. So another thing that Anthrax is kind of responsible for is the crossover. They were one of the very first heavy metal bands to work with rap artists. And they did, of course, the famous Public Enemy collaboration, but did some other things early in their career, and were responsible for the kind of the rap metal crossover that unfortunately seemed to plague the late 90s. We had way too much of here. But the song I'm going to play is I Am the Law. Like I said, it's about Judge Dredd. I've always really, really liked the intro to this song. The song's not particularly fast. But it's got some really chuggy, cool sounding palm muted stuff in it. Probably about 2/3 of the way through, it does pick up for a little while and has a really cool kind of thrash section to it. But the lyrics are super cheesy, but it's a song that I really like. So yeah, respect the badge, fear the gun. I am the law.